Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the mid-morning session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which will be given by her Grace, Archana Bhakti Mataji. And sorry. Vancha kalpadrupasya kripa sindhu pevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So before moving on to the session, I would like to know who are all present on the call today, and very thankful to Kirtida Sundari Mataji for her wonderful chanting for Bhagavad Gita verses chapter 11. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Danvat pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your valuable, wonderful association. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Anyone who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is Arcana Bhakti Devi Dasi. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your valuable association. And we are very eager to hear from you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for
Thank
joining.
you.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the call. Anyone who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisance to all the devotees on the call. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to the call for the mid-morning session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. So before moving on to the session, I would like to read Prabhupada's quote for today. Today is 30 December. Almost we are end of the year. Hare Krishna. There is a proverb in Bengali. Prabhupada has written, there is a proverb in Bengali that one person wanted to see how many thieves are there in this village. And when he began to scrutinize, he saw that everyone is a thief. Similarly, in this world, you go to anyone, they are all envious of God. Los Angeles, December 30, 1968. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Wonderful quote, right? So, thank you so much, dear devotees, once again for joining the session. And today's session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat will be given by Her Grace Archana Bhakti Mataji from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat-Antya Khanda, chapter 4, verses 480 to 524. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Once again, welcome to the call, Mataji. Thank you so much for your valuable time and association. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Over to you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय, श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Am I audible? You're able to hear me clearly?
Yes, Mataji, just your voice is not good because I think you're not feeling well.
Yes.
Please take care. Please take care, Mataji.
Yes, thank you, Mati. So, I thank all the devotees and the Bhakti Sangha group for giving me this opportunity to participate in the glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. We're reading from the Antya Khanda, chapter 4. So today is going to be the end of this chapter. We're going to conclude this chapter, a lengthy chapter with 524 verses. We have read how Mahaprabhu went to Ramkeli, and from there how Srila Rup Goswami, actually not Srila, the Keshav Khatri sent a messenger telling Mahaprabhu, so Mahaprabhu was actually going to Vrindavan. So he came to Ramkeli, from there he turned around. He went up to Kanai Natshala and again he went back. So then he returned. So when he was returning, he went to the house of Advaitacharya. And there we saw Mahaprabhu's pastimes with Achyutananda, the son of Srila Advaitacharya. And then you go into each pastime, then all time will go there. Since we covered all this, I'm just highlighting, I'm not describing those pastimes. But how Achitananda said, one sannyasi had visited Advaitacharya's home and he asked, can you tell me what is the relationship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Keshav Bharati? And then Advaitacharya, thinking that it can be answered in in the material terms or in the terms of in spiritual terms. So he thought, let me first answer from the material perspective. And he said, he's the guru of Keshav Bharati is the guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But hearing this, Achitananda came and he's like, Father, how can you say that? You said Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a guru? Like that. So then, Advaita Acharya went into ecstasy, he picked up his son. So we heard that pastime, we read that pastime. And right at that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived there. Then we saw how Advaita Acharya sent for Sachi Mata, to bring Sachi Mata. We saw what was her condition in separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She was in the mood of Yashodamai. And anyone, she would be like, she was always in the mood of Yashodamai. Anyone would be passing by and she would say, come, ladies, she would say, come, let's go to sell some yogurt. Have you seen my Krishna and Balaram? Like that. So anyway, the messenger went, the devotee went and said, Mahaprabhu is now in Shantipur in Advaita Acharya's house. Come, come. So she went there. Then there, when she arrived there, we saw how Mahaprabhu glorified Sachimata so wonderfully. Only the Supreme Lord could have glorified his father or mother like this. It's not possible for anyone else to glorify like that. Seeing this, all the devotees were so ecstatic. Then Advaita Acharya took permission from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Sachimata would cook for him. And she cooked so many preparations and nicely arranged them. And Mahaprabhu, when he saw that offering, he was so pleased to see. He said, what to speak of eating? Simply by seeing this, one is freed from all bondage. And then he appreciated naming each of the shak. He appreciated, glorified the shak preparations and all the vegetable preparations. And then after he finished, all the devotees, they literally were trying to grab the remnants of Mahaprabhu. So sweet pastimes happened there. After that, Mahaprabhu sat down and all the devotees sat down. We saw how Murari Gupta came and Mahaprabhu asked him to recite the 8 verses that he had composed. After that, one leper came asking Mahaprabhu to please relieve him from his suffering. And then there we saw how Mahaprabhu gave grave instructions about committing, what is the result of one who commits Vaishnava Aparadh, who criticizes. So this leper, now he's a leper, but he had blasphemed Srivas Thakur. So as a result, he's suffering now leprosy. But he said, Mahaprabhu said, this is nothing. Whatever you're suffering now is nothing. Just wait and see how much suffering you have to suffer in future, going to hell, like that. Of course, the solution was, he said, you have to go and beg uh, uh, forgiveness from Srivas Thakur, and that's when you will be relieved. And he did, and that's how he became relieved from his suffering. So in this way, we saw Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Then, so this chapter is entitled Pastimes of, in Advaita Acharya's home with Achyutananda, and also Advaita Acharya's observance of Srila Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. So even to this day, on the appearance day of Madhavendra Puri, there is a grand festival in Shantipur in Advaita Acharya's home. So, so there we saw how Advaita Acharya, out of compassion, great compassion, when he saw that the whole world was devoid of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti, and how they were completely absorbed in materialism, uh, uh, he would preach, Advaita Acharya would preach that the essence of all Shastras is bhakti. So he would be preaching very actively, very enthusiastically, with great urgency. He would be preaching from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So it was around that time when Advaita Acharya was preaching that Srila Madhavendra Puri came to Advaita Acharya's house. And Srila Advaita Acharya, when he saw the Vaishnava qualities, the symptoms of a Mahabhagavat in Srila Madhavendra Puri, Advaita Acharya, he first of all offered Dandavat obeisances to him. They embraced each other and they would discuss Krishna Katha. And that's how Srila Advaita Acharya accepted Madhavendra Puri as his spiritual master. And we also uh, saw what is the importance of accepting a spiritual master. Accepting spiritual master is not a ritual. It is first of all, who is a spiritual master, right? Somebody who is Shabde Parecha Nishnataha. That means who is completely well versed in Shastra, and he has also realized the Supreme Lord. He has experienced, realized means he has experienced. Such a person only is qualified to be a spiritual master. So, to be a spiritual master, there is a very high qualification. Not simply, by ritual, we just get Diksha. It's not like that. So, grave instructions given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in that context. So, then, since then, that was once when Srila Madhavendra Puri visited Srila Advaita Acharya's home. But after that year, every year, Advaita Acharya began to observe the appearance day of Madhavendra Puri, like the Vyas Puja of Madhavendra Puri in his house. And it was a big festival. So now Mahaprabhu is in his house. Mahaprabhu came, isn't it? So at that time, uh, of course, towards the end of this chapter, we see that Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that I'm not saying it in chronological order. I don't know. So uh, the exact time is not mentioned, which month and the details, those are not given. But this happened when Mahaprabhu was in Advaita Acharya's home at this time. And he is observing the festival of Madhavendra Puri's appearance. And the details of that festival we have seen. Uh, what kind of arrangements did Srila Advaita Acharya do for this festival, and how much Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated. So, for example, practically it's like rooms and rooms, like 2 or 4 rooms are filled with only rice, and then there are rooms filled with pots. I think 5 rooms or something. Let me see. 1 second. Uh, 1 second. So Sachimata is also here. Nityananda Prabhu is here. So it is said here that Advaita Acharya joyfully celebrated Madhavendra Puri's appearance day every year. By divine arrangement, the auspicious day arrived, and Advaita happily began to make arrangements for the occasion. That means when Mahaprabhu is there, that day also arrived. The day of Madhavendra Puri's festival arrived. So Advaita Acharya began to make arrangements, and everybody, including Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was very happy on that auspicious day. And everybody volunteered to render services for this festival. Sachimata took the responsibility for cooking. Nityananda Prabhu took the responsibility of worshipping the Vaishnavas. Somebody would take responsibility for making sandalwood paste, somebody for making garlands, bringing water, right, cleaning the place, washing the feet of the Vaishnavas, and then they would make flags, prepare a canopy, like this. So many services. And kirtan party, somebody would be performing kirtan like this. And some will be dancing in ecstasy, various services. Then, being absorbed in the mellows of transcendental happiness, all the devotees engaged in various activities according to their desires. So, again, here is another lesson. A festival does not mean very seriously, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is condemning, you know, simply going for sense gratification and being lazy. Vaishnav festivals are not Vaishnav festivals. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's festival means everyone is actively engaged in service for the pleasure of the Lord and the Vaishnavas. This is the festival, not just going there for a party or anything. That's not the mood of Vaishnava devotees. So that is said. And another thing is, constantly throughout the festival, everybody was hearing the names of the Lord, Hari, Hari, like that. In the four directions, there was only the name of Hari or the instructions like eat, drink, take, give. That's all. You couldn't hear anything else. And there were conch shells, musical instruments being played like this. And because of this mood of festival, there was no external consciousness in anyone. Practically, the house of Advaita Acharya was transformed into Vaikuntha. And Mahaprabhu was personally going and checking all the arrangements with great satisfaction. So, what did Mahaprabhu see? There were 2 to 4 rooms filled with rice. There were rows of wood stacked for cooking. 5 rooms filled with pots, clay pots for cooking. 2 to 4 rooms filled with moong dal. Rooms. I've seen also in my childhood in villages, the harvest in the house, one room would be just set aside to put all the harvest, like rice, for example. So it's not like you have drums or containers. The room is just filled with rice. So here it's not one room, so many rooms. Rooms and rooms filled with rice, filled with dal, pots, then cloth, then leaf cups and leaf plates, rooms filled like that. Then flat rice, poha, uh, banana bunches. How many? Thousands and thousands of banana, not like bunch of 12. You have those big ones, the whole thing, like that, thousands of those banana bunches. And so many coconuts, betel nuts, betel leaves, no counting, no counting how many. And nobody knew how so many ingredients were coming, where from they were coming, who was bringing, nobody knew. They could not estimate how many rooms. You cannot estimate how many rooms were filled with various types of vegetables, like patal, eggplant, like that. And then milk, yogurt, condensed milk, like this sprouted moong. Then there were unlimited pots of oil, salt, ghee. I am unable to describe everything, says Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. When Mahaprabhu saw such extraordinary arrangements, he was struck with wonder. And he said, these opulences are not possible for an ordinary human being. I think Advaita Acharya must be Lord Shiva himself. How is it possible for an ordinary human being to possess such opulence? Only Lord Shiva possesses such opulence. I can understand that Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahesha. He smiled, the Lord smiled, as he repeatedly said that Advaita Acharya is Lord Shiva. And in this way, Mahaprabhu was glorifying the position of Advaita Acharya. Then Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says that actually Mahaprabhu is only saying that Advaita is like the incarnation of fire for anyone who is faithless. and who disrespects the words of Mahaprabhu. Okay, so this is not Mahaprabhu speaking. One second. I can understand that the Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Mahesha. Yes, this is Mahaprabhu's statement. Then Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying the Lord smiled repeatedly as he spoke this, and Mahaprabhu indirectly glorified the position of Advaita Acharya. A pious person accepts this truth with great pleasure. That Advaita Acharya is Lord Shiva. When a pious person hears this, he accepts it with great pleasure. Advaita is like the incarnation of fire for anyone who is faithless and who disrespects the words of Mahaprabhu. Although Advaita is as cooling as millions of moons, he is like the fire of destruction for persons averse to Lord Chaitanya. So the point is that when people hear the glorification of Advaita Acharya, and when they see the festival which is arranged by Advaita Acharya in such opulence, just look at the quantity and the variety, the scale at which this festival is observed. Seeing this, envious people would criticize Advaita Acharya that he is only interested in opulence. Envious people who desire, right, engaged in service with great opulence, desire to go to hell by considering him primarily concerned with opulence. That means they will consider Advaita Acharya to be primarily concerned with opulence. He's only interested in big opulence, right? Like to show off or for his own, you know, whatever. So people who think like this, out of envy, they are preparing to go to hell like that. So, to minimize Advaita Acharya's position because of his external display of opulence, right? This may be considered okay in case of the impersonalists. The impersonalists may say like this, but this type of criticism of Advaita Acharya is not approved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nor his devotees. Yes. So then we see how uh, Advaita Acharya is glorified as Lord Shiva. Even if one does not know the glories of Shiva, simply by chanting his name once, one will immediately be purified of all sinful reactions. This is the verdict of Vedic literatures and the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's like Lord Shiva is Shiva. The very name Shiva means what? All auspicious. One who is auspicious, Shiva. Even if you didn't know any glories of Lord Shiva, simply by uttering his name, you will be purified of all sinful reactions. Who's saying this? Srimad Bhagavatam is saying. One who becomes unhappy on hearing the name of such Lord Shiva. Simply by uttering his name, one is becoming free from all sinful reactions. And if one becomes unhappy on hearing such Lord Shiva's name, he is simply floating in an ocean of inauspiciousness. Because Lord Shiva is auspicious. And one who is feeling unhappy to hear the name of Lord Shiva, he is actually floating in an ocean of inauspiciousness. Then we see a statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva. Who's saying this? Sati, right? To Daksha. You are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of two syllables, Shi and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Alas, you are the personification of inauspiciousness. So Mahaprabhu is glorifying Lord Shiva. That is the context. Now we'll begin today's verse. We have quite a few verses, so I will mostly be just reading. So text 480. Sri Vadane Krishna Chandra bole na apane, Shiva je na puje, seva more puje kene. Sri Vadane Krishna Chandra bole na apane, Shiva je na puje, seva more puje kene. Somebody is, no, Lord Krishna, Sri Vadane, right, with his own mouth. Krishna Chandra bole na apane. Lord Krishna Chandra is himself saying, uttering with his own mouth. What is he saying? Shiva je na puje, seva more puje kene. जो शिव की पूजा नहीं करता है वो मेरी पूजा क्यों करेगा? Why would anyone who does not worship Shiva worship me? Who's saying this? Lord Krishna is saying, मोर प्रिय शिव प्रति अनादर जारा के मते वामोरे भक्ति होइबे ताहारा. मोर प्रिय शिव प्रति अनादर जार. Shiva is very dear to me. Anyone who disrespects such Lord Shiva, who disrespects Shiva who is so dear to me, such a person, ke mate va more bhakti hoibe tahar. How can he have any bhakti for me? If one is disrespecting Lord Shiva, who's so dear to me, how can he have bhakti for me? Because if you love me, love my dog, it is said, right, in this world. That means my dog is very dear to me. So if you love me, you have to love my dog. So to the Lord, his devotees are extremely dear. He's Bhakta Vatsala. Bhakta Vatsala means, yeah, don't take the example literally, please. I hope it's not an offense. I didn't mean to say like that, but you get the point. The Lord is, he's Bhakta Vatsala. Vatsa means calf. How does a cow love its calf? Very much. So that's why Bhakta Vatsala. He's very, that's, the Lord has many qualities. But what is the emperor of all his qualities? The king, or not the king, the emperor of all his qualities is Bhakta Vatsalata. He has many qualities, but of all his qualities, the topmost quality is he likes that. He wants to be known as Bhakta Vatsala, the lover of his devotees, the protector of his devotees. Vatsa. That means he has so much affection for his devotee. So here, who is that devotee? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is very dear to the Lord. So if you are envious to my devotee, how can you get any devotion for me? This is what the Lord is saying. How can a person who disrespects my dear Shiva attain my devotional service? Katham va mai bhaktim salabhatam papa purushahyo. Sorry, this is Sanskrit. Katham va mai bhaktim salabhatam papa purushah पुरुषह्यो madiyam param bhaktam shivam sampujayenahi. How can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotional service if he does not respectfully worship my dear devotee Shiva? A sinful person who is envious of Vaishnavas. Katham va mai bhaktim sa labhatam papa purushahyo. Papa Purusha, a sinful person, how can he get devotion to me? Madiyam param bhaktam shivam sampujayenahi. Without worshipping Lord Shiva, how can a sinful person get bhakti for me? Again, the Lord is saying, how can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotional service? if he does not respectfully worship my dear devotee Shiva. So, Lord Shiva plays different roles. If you see Lord Shiva as a, uh, you know, a, as a guna avatar, like you have Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. So if you're seeing Lord Shiva as, as the Supreme Lord, then such a worshipper of Lord Shiva, he is called you know, a Pashandi, because he's seeing Lord Shiva as an independent Lord, independent Supreme Lord. That's not right. But here, Lord Shiva is being glorified as a great Vaishnava. That is actual glorification. And also in this verse it is said that Lord Shiva, without worshipping Lord Shiva, how can a sinful person who offends my Vaishnavas get bhakti for me? That means Lord Shiva is playing the role of the spiritual master. You see, uh, we have anarthas. Anarthas, aparadhas, offenses is one of the anarthas. There are other types of anarthas also. But the toughest anarthas are offenses. But you have other anarthas also. Because of these anarthas, one is not able to perform bhajan. He is not able to chant, perform devotional service, because these anarthas are not allowing him to perform devotional service. What should a devotee do then? Because of offenses, because of anarthas, I'm not able to perform bhajan. What should I do then? I should take shelter of the spiritual master. The spiritual master, like a farmer or like a gardener, when you plant a seed, the seed needs to be, sown, then watered and protected and nourished nicely. That seed of bhakti is given to us, but let's say the seed is now blocked by a rock. The seed is not able to grow. What is this rock? This is the anartha or anarthas, because of which, in spite of being in the association of devotees for a long time, still one is not able to progress in bhakti. One is not able to perform bhajan. One is not able to get any taste. So that anartha is removed by the spiritual master. Just like the farmer, removes, if there's any rocks or something, he will, with a crowbar, he'll just remove that. So now the seedling can grow. Otherwise, those anarthas will not allow us to perform bhajan. So this is the merciful function of the spiritual master. So that's why here we see the Lord is saying that how can a sinful person who is envious of the Vaishnavas attain devotional service if he does not respectfully worship my dear devotee Shiva? That means Lord Shiva plays the role of spiritual master, and that is absolutely not only approved, it is glorious. Worshipping Lord Shiva as a spiritual master, that is fine. But not as a demigod. That's not approved. Worshipping Lord Shiva, because that is against the principle of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means ananya bhakti, ananya, anya, nobody other than Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then if you're worshipping Lord Shiva as the spiritual master or as a Vaishnava, that's not Anya. That is in line because he's a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means, so when you say Krishna, Krishna and those who are related to Krishna, the pure devotees, spiritual master, when you say Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam, Krishna Anushilanam, there Krishna means Krishna, Krishna's avatars, various avatars, and also the spiritual master and pure devotees, Krishna and those who are related to Krishna. So therefore, that comes in the category of Ananya only, worshipping Lord Shiva as the spiritual master. That is not against the principle of pure devotional service. So, therefore, one should first Ateva Sarvadye Sri Krishna Puji Tabe Prite Shiva Puji Beka Sarva Deve. So, first of all, you should worship Lord Krishna. Therefore, Ateva, therefore, Sarvadye, in the beginning, first, Sri Krishna Puji, you should worship Lord Krishna. Tabe Prite Shiva Puji. And after that, worship Lord Shiva. Puji Beka Sarvadeve. Then you worship all the other demigods. So even if there are demigods, first you worship Krishna, then Lord Shiva, and then all the other demigods as servants of the Lord. That's the point. Even if you do, the worship of demigods is not required, but sometimes to set example, we see Bharat Maharaj, he was worshipping, but when he was worshipping, performing yagyas and worshipping demigods, he would see the demigods as the limbs of the Supreme Lord, and he would be performing his yagyas. And also, constantly he's chanting the names of the Lords. So his Shuddha Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti is not interrupted, even though he was doing the worship of demigods. Then why is he doing? To set example to society, to those who are not everyone is qualified to perform pure devotional service, because there's a qualification for pure devotional service. You need that dridha shraddha. That will allow one to do pure devotional service. That means doing direct devotional service 24 hours. It's possible only when you have that firm faith. Not everyone has that. In fact, hardly anyone has that qualification. Very rare. It's extremely rare to find such a devotee. So then what should they do? They have to do their dharma. Varnashrama dharma they have to follow. And while following that dharma, whatever pains or pleasures come, they have to tolerate. By tolerating pains and pleasures, and even in the face of suffering, they don't give up their dharma. By this, they will rise above the bodily platform. Or uh, tolerating pains and pleasures, they continue to do their dharma and offer the results of that to the Lord with love. By this, they will get taste in Vasudeva Katha. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. They'll progress. So therefore, if we don't have qualification for uh, pure devotional service, we have to follow dharma. We have to do varnashram dharma. Therefore, pure devotees like Bharat Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Pandavas, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, they are performing varnashram dharma. Like Kshatriyas, they are ruling. But that is external, simply to show the world, to set example to them so that they will follow. Why? Because everyone is not yet qualified to do pure devotional service. So they have to follow dharma, because if they don't follow dharma, they will come to the platform of animals and even lower. Human beings are going below even animal level nowadays. So therefore, dharma is essential. So for that, to set example, pure devotees do, uh, you know, they follow dharma. So here, I was talking about worshipping demigods. So if you are worshipping demigods for the sake of setting example to society, even there when you're doing it, first of all, you should worship Lord Krishna, then Lord Shiva, and then all the other demigods. Okay. Then in the Skanda Purana it is stated, Prathamam Keshavam Pujam कृत्वा देवमहेश्वरम् पूजनीया महाभक्त्या ये चान्ये santi devataha. So this is a statement from Shastra which is saying the same thing. That first you should worship Lord Krishna, then Lord Shiva, and then all the other devatas. Okay. Then हे न शिवा अद्वैते रे बोले साधु जने सेहो श्री चैतन्य चंद्र इंगित कारणे. That Lord Shiva Advaite re bole sadhu jane. So this Advaita Acharya is that Lord Shiva himself. Who says that? Sadhu jan. Saintly persons say that Advaita Acharya is Lord Shiva. Seho Sri Chaitanya Chandra Ingita Karane. Why they are accepting Advaita Acharya as Lord Shiva? Because Mahaprabhu is hinting. Mahaprabhu, what did Mahaprabhu say? My God, such wonderful arrangements. It's not possible for any ordinary person. Only Lord Shiva can make such arrangements. Therefore, Advaita Acharya must be Lord Shiva. And Mahaprabhu is smiling while saying this repeatedly again and again. So, getting this hint from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all saintly persons accepted Advaita Acharya as Lord Shiva. So, the thing is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to everyone that Sri Advaita Acharya is Vishnu Tattva as Upadan Karan. So, there is Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana. The Lord in this material creation, He is actually Aham Sarvasya Prabhava Mattah Sarvam Pravartate. Isn't it? Everything is coming from Him. Both spiritual, material worlds, everything is actually His energy only. So in this material creation, how is the Lord conducting this material creation? How is He participating? So there is Upadan Karan and Nimitta Karan. So Upadan Karan means the ingredient cause. And Nimitta Karan means the efficient cause. So for example, if you take a pot, to make a pot, what do you need? You need clay, you need a potter's wheel, and then you need the potter also who's making, right? So the Upadan Karana will be the clay, yeah, the ingredient. And the Nimitta Karan will be the person, the potter who's making, like that. So he's playing both Upadan and Nimitta Karana. So here, Advaita Acharya is Vishnu Tattva as Upadan Karan, ingredient cause of creation, or the pure Mahesha Tattva, or what you call Sadashiva. That is why the devotees accept Sri Advaita Prabhu as equal to the Supreme Lord. The reason that unalloyed Vaishnavas do not see or associate with Rudra is because the acceptance of Rudra as the Supreme Lord, independent of the Supreme Lord, is certainly an offense against the holy names, as we discussed earlier. Yes? So, if you accept Lord Shiva as an independent Lord, independent Supreme Lord, that is against the principles of pure devotional service. Okay. If one accepts Shiva as only a Guna avatar and not as a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he commits a grave offense. Ihate abudha mahakali kare advaitera mayana bujhiya bhale mare. Ihate abudha abudha means not having the knowledge, ignorant. Ihate abudha mahakali kare advaitera maya na bujhiya bhale mare. Ignorant people who disagree with this fact cannot understand Advaita's glories and are therefore vanquished. Which fact? That Advaita Acharya is Lord Shiva. Those who disagree with this fact, who disagrees? Ignorant people. They will be vanquished. They cannot factually understand the glories of Advaita Acharya and they will be vanquished. So here Kali means quarrel, argument. So Abudha Mahakali Kare. That means out of ignorance they argue that no, Advaita Acharya is not Lord Shiva, he cannot be Lord Shiva, like that. So they'll be vanquished. Nava Nava Vastra Sabha Dekhe Prabhu Jata Sakala Ananta Lekhi Bare Pari Kata. So, how many clothes and new clothes, Nava Nava Vastra. Did the Lord see the arrangements made by Advaita Acharya? How many different kinds of clothes did the Lord see? Sakala Ananta Lekhibare Parikoto. So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, oh, there's no limit to it. So many, it's not possible for me to write about them. Unlimited varieties of new cloth that the Lord saw. I don't have the capacity to write about them. It's not possible for me. संभारत देखिया प्रभु महाहर्ष मन आचार्यरा प्रशंसा कोरेन अनुक्षण. So seeing such wonderful arrangements, the Lord became so joyful. Mahaharshamana. He was so pleased, Mahaprabhu, seeing such gorgeous arrangements for Sri Madhavendra Puri's festival. Mahaprabhu became so pleased. Acharyera prashamsa korena anukshan. Constantly, at every second, he couldn't stop glorifying Advaita Acharya for the arrangements he made for celebrating Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. एके एके देखी प्रभु सकल संभारा संकीर्तन स्थाने ते आइला पुनर्बारा. So in this way, going from one room to another, seeing all the arrangements, finally Mahaprabhu came to the area where Sankirtan was going on. So he was there, and then he went to check all the arrangements, and he came back now again to the place where Sankirtan was being performed. प्रभु मात्र आइलेन संकीर्तन स्थाने परानंदा पाइलेन सर्वभक्त गणे. As soon as Mahaprabhu arrived at the Sankirtan spot, all the devotees who were performing Kirtan, they became so blissful. Parananda pailena. Like they experienced Ananda out of this world, right? Ecstasy, para Ananda. As soon as the Lord excuse me, Hare Krishna. As soon as the Lord came to the place of Sankirtan, all the devotees there became filled with ecstasy. Parananda pailena. Na jani ke kon dike nache gaye vaya. Na jani ke kon dike mahanande dhaya. They became so ecstatic that na jani ke kon dike nache gaye. I don't know. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, who can describe? Who can describe? Who danced? Who sang? Na jani ke kon dike mahanande dhaye. And who ran out of ecstasy in which direction? Who knows? That means they went wild in ecstasy. Somebody was singing, somebody was dancing, and they were running here and there as soon as Mahaprabhu arrived in the place of Sankirtan. Sabe kore jaya jaya mahahari dhvani. Bolo bolo hari bolo ar nahi shuni. And what were they doing? Jaya jaya mahahari dhvani. They were saying, like, like Jai, Jai, Hari Bol, Hari, Hari, like this. Maha Hari Dhvani. A great, tumultuous Hari, 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 Hari Dhvani was going on. And what else could you hear? Bolo, Bolo, Hari Bolo. Ar Nahi Shuni. The only thing you could hear was chant, chant. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. You couldn't hear anything other than this. Sarva Vaishnavera Anga Chandane Bhushita. Sabara Sundara Vaksha Malaya Purnita. Then Sarva Vaishnavera Anga Chandane Bhushita. All, the bodies of all the Vaishnavas were decorated with chandan, sandalwood paste. Sabara Sundara Vaksha Malaya Purnita. And all the chests of all the Vaishnavas were beautifully decorated with garlands. They were then Sabe Prabhura Parishadera Pradhana Sabe Nritya Gita Kore Prabhu Vidyamana Sabe Prabhura Parishadera Pradhana. Who were all these Vaishnavas? They were all the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the principal associates of Mahaprabhu. And Sabe Nritya Gita Kore Prabhu Vidyamana. And all of them were singing and dancing in the presence of the Lord. While the Lord was there, they were all singing and dancing. Mahanande Utila Sri Hari Sankirtana Jay Dhvani Pavitra Kore Ananta Bhuvana. Mahanande Utila Sri Hari Sankirtan. In great ecstasy, Hari Sankirtan arose. Jay Dhvani Pavitra Kore Ananta Bhuvana. And this was the sound that purifies the unlimited or the entire Ananta, unlimited universe. Ananta, entire universe. Okay. Ananta Bhuvana. The sound vibration of the ecstatic congregational chanting of the glories of the Lord purified the entire universe. Nityananda Mahamalla Prema Sukhamaya Balya Bhave Nritya Korilena Atishaya. Nityananda Mahamalla. Nityananda Prabhu, who's like the great wrestler. Prema Sukhamaya. He is filled with the happiness of Krishna Prema. Balya Bhave Nritya Korilena Atishaya. Like a child, he was dancing wonderfully. In the mood of a child, he was dancing. Atishaya. Atishaya means, said he was dancing wildly in the mood of a child. Who, Nityananda Prabhu, who's like a wrestler, but he's dancing because, and he's also Prema Sukhamaya. He's filled with love of Godhead, with the happiness, with the joy of love of Godhead. And now he's dancing in the mood of a child, wildly. Vihavala hoya ati acharya gosai jata nritya korilena tara antanai. Vihavala, overwhelmed. Hoya ati acharya gosai. Advaita Acharya was overwhelmed with ecstasy. Jata nritya korilena tara antanai. And he kept on dancing, dancing, and there was no end. He was dancing and dancing and dancing in his ecstasy. नाचिलेना अनेक ठाकुर हरिदास सबे नाचेना अति पाइया उल्लास. Who else? Haridas Thakur was also dancing a lot. Sabai nachena ati paiya ullas. Everyone was dancing and they were all so joyful. Mahaprabhu Sri Gaura Sundara Sarva Sheshe Nritya Korilena Ati Ashesha Visheshe. Mahaprabhu Sri Gaur Sundar Sarva Sheshe. Sarva Sheshe. That means finally, right? Everyone is dancing, and finally Mahaprabhu was also dancing. Nritya Korilena Ati Ashesha Visheshe. In unlimited ways. So many different ways he's dancing. Mahaprabhu. Sarva Parishada Prabhu Age Nachaiya Sheshe Nritya Korena Apane Sabha Loya. First, he induced all his associates to dance, and then he himself also joined. He also started dancing. Sheshe Nritya Korena Apane Sabha Loya. Taking all his associates, he also started dancing. First, he induced all his associates to dance, and then taking them in their company, he also started dancing. Mahaprabhu. Mandali Koriya Nache Sarva Bhakta Gana. Madhya Nache Mahaprabhu Sri Sachinandan. So they would form like a circle, Mandali. All the devotees, and in the center, Mahaprabhu Sachinandan, Sri Sachinandan would dance. Mandali Koriya Nache Sarva Bhaktagan, all the devotees forming groups, they were dancing, and in the middle of that circle, Sri Sachinandan, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu would dance. Ei mata sarva dina nachiya gaiya, bosilena Mahaprabhu sabare loya. So in this way, so what day is this? This is the festival of Madhavendra Puri, observed by Srila Advaita Acharya. So all day they were dancing. That kirtan party was dancing all day, performing kirtan. Ei mata sarva dina nachiya gaiya. After dancing and singing all day, Bosilena Mahaprabhu Sabare Loya. Taking all the devotees, Mahaprabhu sat down after dancing all day. Why? So it is also another way of saying this is that Sabara Kirtana Shrama Antare Janiya. Mahaprabhu understood that after dancing and singing all day, everybody is exhausted. So understanding this, that they all have become fatigued, Mahaprabhu made everyone sit down. He sat down with everyone. Tabe sheshe agna magi Advaita Acharya Bhojanera Koritela Gila Sarva Karya. So Advaita Acharya was also dancing. We saw he was dancing and dancing without stop. Nityananda Prabhu was dancing. Haridas Thakur was dancing. All devotees were dancing. But then, when Mahaprabhu sat down with all devotees, Advaita Acharya took permission and left. Why? To make arrangements for prasadam. Now everybody will be hungry. So he said he took permission from the Lord and he went to make arrangements for everyone's prasad. बसिलेना महाप्रभु कोरिते भोजन मध्य प्रभु चतुर्दिके सर्व भक्तगण. So then Mahaprabhu sat down to take prasadam. He was sitting in the center and all the devotees were sitting around him. He was surrounded by devotees. They sat around him and he was in the middle to honor prasad. चतुर्दिके भक्तगण जैन ताराचय मध्य कोटि चंद्र जैन प्रभुर उदय. चतुर्दिके भक्तगण जैन ताराचय Madhye Koti Chandra Jaina Prabhura Uday. So all these devotees sitting around him were like stars, unlimited stars. And in the middle was Gaur Chandra, the moon, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Koti Chandra Jaina Prabhura Uday. And not one moon. He's like Koti. Koti means what? Koti is what? 10 million moons. So Mahaprabhu is not like one moon, but like 10 million moons rising amidst all these stars. That's how it appeared. Mahaprabhu sitting in the center, surrounded by all these devotees. He appeared as effulgent as millions of moons, surrounded by the devotees who resembled stars. Divya Anna Bahuvidha Pishtaka Vyanjana Madhavendra Aradhana Aira Randhana. So who cooked all this? Sachimata was brought, isn't it? And Advaitacharya took permission from Mahaprabhu. For as long as Mahaprabhu was there in Shantipur, Sachimata would cook. So on this day also, Sachimata cooked for the worship of Madhavendra Puri. Divya Anna, transcendental rice. Bahuvidha Pishtaka Vyanjana. And many varieties of cakes, vegetables, so on and so forth. Many varieties of preparations were made for the worship of Madhavendra Puri by Sachimata. Madhava Purira Katha Kohiya Kohi Ja Bhojana Korena Prabhu Sarva Bhakta Loya. Madhava Purira Katha Kohiya Kohi Ja Bhojana Korena Prabhu Sarva Bhakta Loya. So as Mahaprabhu is taking prasadam with all the devotees, he is constantly narrating the glories of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Purira Katha Kohiya Kohi. Continuously he is telling the Katha of Madhavendra Puri, the glories of Madhavendra Puri as he is honoring the prasadam. Prabhu bole Madhavendra Aradhana Tithi Bhakti hoye Govinde Bhojana koile ithi. What did the Lord say? On this day, on the appearance day of Madhavendra Puri, anyone who takes this prasad, the Mahaprasad, which is served out on that day of Madhavendra Puri's appearance, anyone who simply honors, eats that prasadam, he'll get bhakti for Govinda. So devotees go there in Mayapur. The devotees go there. They arrange buses taking devotees to Shantipur, and there they serve out prasad to all, whoever comes there, and many uh, devotees and pilgrims and local villagers come and they honor prasad because of this statement of Mahaprabhu, that anyone who honors the prasad on the appearance day of Madhavendra Puri, he will get bhakti for Govinda. If one honors the prasad that has been offered during the appearance festival of Sri Madhavendra Puri, he will attain devotional service of Govinda. He'll get bhakti. Ei mata range prabhu koriya bhojan, bosilena giya prabhu kori achaman. So, in great, what do you say, happiness, joy, Mahaprabhu honored prasadam, and then Bosilena Giya Prabhu Kori Achaman. Then after he finished, he did his achaman and he sat down. Tabe divya sugandhi chandana divya mala prabhura sammukhe ani advaita tuliya. Then Advaita Acharya came before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with sandalwood pulp and a garland, a beautiful garland. Divya, it is said, Divya means transcendental sandalwood pulp and transcendental garland. Divine garland and divine sandalwood pulp. He came with that in front of, before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tabe Prabhu Nityananda Swarupera Age, Dilena Chandana Mala Maha Anurage. What did the Lord do? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took that garland and the sandalwood pulp and applied it on Nityananda Prabhu with great affection. Maha Anurage, with great affection, with great love, he offered that garland to Nityananda Prabhu and applied that sandalwood pulp. Tabe Prabhu Sarva Vaishnavere Jane Jane Sri Haste Chandanamala Dilena Apane. And after giving to Nityananda Prabhu personally, Mahaprabhu is offering a garland and applying sandalwood pulp on each and every Vaishnava. He personally offered sandalwood pulp and flower garland to each and every Vaishnava. Sri Hastera Prasada Paya Bhaktagana Sabara Hoila Paranandamayamana. Simply receiving a garland and sandalwood pulp from the Lord personally, all the devotees went into, they were filled with ecstasy. Paranandamayamana. Their hearts were now filled with transcendental ananda, ecstasy. उच्च करी सबई कोरे न हरिध्वनि किबा से आनंद होइला कहते ना जानी. उच्च करी सबई कोरे न हरिध्वनि. Loudly they were saying Hari, Hari, Hari in that ecstasy. किबा से आनंद होइलो कहते ना जानी. I cannot describe how happy they all were. किबा से आनंद होइलो कहते ना जानी. I am not able to describe how happy they were. And in that happiness, they were loudly calling out, Hari, Hari, Hari. Advaitera je ananda anta nahi tara. Apane Vaikunthanatha grihe madhye jara. What to speak of the ananda, the ecstasy, the joy that was experienced by Srila Advaita Acharya. Already he said that the devotees, how happy they were, I cannot describe. And what to speak about the joy of Sri Advaita Acharya. The Lord of Vaikuntha personally was present in his house. How happy is Advaita Acharya? E sakala ranga prabhu korilena jata manushyera shakti iha varnibeka kota. E sakala ranga prabhu korilena jata. All these, how he, E sakala ranga prabhu korilena jata. All these wonderful pastimes that the Lord performed. How he made all these devotees so joyful, so ecstatic. Does a human being have the power to explain, to describe how he did this? No. How can a human being have the power to describe all these pastimes of the Supreme Lord? Eko divase rajata chaitanya vihara Koti Vatsare, okay ho, Nare Vandimar. Even the pastimes that are performed by Mahaprabhu in one day, Eko Divasera, that the pastimes performed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in one day cannot be described in millions of years. That means you go on describing for millions of years continuously. Still, you will not be able to come to the end of the pastimes performed by Mahaprabhu in one day. So, what power does any human being have to describe all the pastimes performed by Mahaprabhu? It's not possible. So, in this context, there's a verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18 chapter, text 23. Nabaha patantyatma samam patatrinas tatha samam Vishnu gatim vipaschitaha. Means, as the birds fly in the sky, as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotees describe the Lord as far as their realization allows. In other words, पक्षी जेना आकाशेर अंत नहीं पाए जत दूर शक्ति तत दूर उड़ी जाए pakshi jena akashara, the bird cannot find the limit of the sky. It cannot reach the limit of the sky. But still birds fly in the sky. How high? As far as it is able. Some small birds fly to a certain height. Bigger birds fly even higher. Some birds are able to fly from one planet to another planet, right? However, however great a bird may be, it cannot reach the limit of the sky. So what is the sky here? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories are like the sky. Ei Mata Chaitanya Yashera Antanai. So there is no limit to the glory, the fame of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tiho Jata Dena Shakti Tata Matra Gai. As much as a person receives mercy from the Lord, to that extent he is able to describe, he is able to glorify the Lord. As much as the Lord reveals himself to a devotee by his mercy, to that extent the devotee is able to experience and he is able to glorify the Lord. But it is not possible for anyone to describe the Lord's glories completely. As much as it is revealed to him by the Lord, by his mercy, by the Lord's mercy, to that extent one is able to glorify the Lord. Otherwise there's no end to Lord Chaitanya's glories. Kashtera putali jena kuhake na chaya ei mata gaurachandra moreye balaya. So now Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is telling us about the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's saying that I'm like a wooden doll. The way a wooden doll is made to dance, like a puppeteer, right? He's making the puppets dance. Like that, Sri Gaurchandra is making me speak. Whatever he is revealing to me, that much I'm able to speak. He is the puppet master. I'm like a puppet. Kashtera putali jena kohe ke na chaya. Ei mata Gaurachandra more jai bolaya. Actually, even we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Ramananda Rai also says the same thing. That I am like an instrument, a musical instrument. And you are making me speak. Like an instrument will produce music the way the musician plays. Similarly, you are putting words in my mouth and you are inspiring me within my heart. You are speaking through me. So similarly here also Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, whatever I describe is only by the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gaur Chandra, just as a puppet dances only by the direction of the puppeteer. ए सब कथार अनुक्रम नाही जानी जेते मते चैतन्य यश से वाखाने. I don't know the chronological order of all these pastimes. I don't know. He's admitting. Jete mate chaitanya yasha seva khani. So, jete mate chaitanya yash seva khani. Whatever I am able to, what Mahaprabhu's glories, whatever his glories are coming to my mind, I'm speaking. But I don't know the chronological order. So, the author does not have the ability, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is explaining, the author does not have the ability to describe Sri Gaur Sundar's pastimes in chronological order. He did not describe the exact day and month of Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. He simply chanted and explained Sri Chaitanya's glories under the influence of his heart's emotions. सर्व वैष्णवेर पाए मोर नमस्कार इथे अपराध किछु nahuka amar. I'm offering, so he's saying, let me offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas, at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. Sarva Vaishnavera paye. I'm offering my humble obeisances to at the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas. Itte aparadha kichu nahuka amar. Please don't consider my offenses. Like that. ए सकला पुण्य कथा जय करे श्रवण whoever hears this katha avashya milaye tare Krishna premadan. Certainly he will get the wealth of Krishna prema. Anyone who hears this katha, this pastime, he will certainly get the wealth of Krishna prema. Wow, such a blessing. Huh? Whoever hears these auspicious narrations will certainly attain the wealth of ecstatic love for Krishna. Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Nityananda Chand Jana, Vrindavana Dasa Tachu, Pada Yuge Gana. Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Nityananda Chand Jana. Accepting Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Prabhu as my life and soul. Vrindavan Das Tachu, Pada Juge Gan. I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Thus ends this English translation of the Gaudiya Bhashya of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata-Antya Khanda chapter 4 entitled Descriptions of Sri Achyutananda's pastimes and the worship of Sri Madhavendra Puri. So I will stop there. Thank you all so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. So very wonderfully explained about the glories of Advaita Acharya, how important it is to worship Lord Shiva, and we should not consider Lord Shiva as a demigod. So, and also all the celebrations and all the prasadams description was really very good, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, we have hand raise. Sunil Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very beautiful class and a wonderful recap. You did the whole chapter. So many past terms were there in that. Mataji, as you mentioned, you have mentioned the same thing in last class also. Like when Anita's haunting, we should take the shelter of our spiritual master. What to do in a case, Mataji, like I am not initiated now, and as of now, I am not aspiring from specific person. And for Prabhupada also, I don't have that much love, Mataji. So home shelter I should take now.
So, first of all, we receive the mercy from a sadhu. That's the beginning. Paramaswatantra Bhagavad Bhakta Sangha Tat Kripa Jata Mangalodayana. So our auspiciousness is awakened. The beginning of that awakening is receiving mercy from a pure devotee of the Lord. Either in this life or in the past life, sometime we received it. You also received it. Otherwise, you would not be in this class. So after that, what should we do? So now he will seek the association because he got the mercy of sadhu. By that mercy, he got some faith to hear about the glories of the Lord, about the glories of bhakti. So he will be associating with sadhus. He will be hearing from different sadhus. So by what happens when you hear like this, your faith increases. Your faith increases. And as you are hearing from different sadhus, and it is also recommended that you hear, sometimes you hear from one person, my faith is not formed. But the same thing which is explained from other sadhus by different sadhus, each sadhu has his own way of presentation. So by hearing from different angles, your faith becomes strong. You hear the same topic, same subject from different angles, from different persons, your faith becomes strong. So by hearing from different sadhus, this is how one progresses. So you will find one of those sadhus uh, who is able to answer your questions. So now you will develop special interest about a particular form of the Lord and a particular type of bhajan, like chanting, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, like that. Then when you get that special interest, you will inquire from that sadhu, Shravan Guru, you'll be hearing. So when you say spiritual master is not just the person from whom you accept mantra. There are actually three types of spiritual masters. There is Shravana Guru, there is Shiksha, Bhajana Shiksha Guru, and then there is Diksha Guru. And any one of them is able to actually deliver you, is capable of delivering you. However, the qualification for a spiritual master, whether he is Shravana Guru, Bhajana Shiksha Guru, or Diksha Guru, the qualification is Shabde Parecha Nishnataha. That means he is well versed in the Bhakti scriptures, and he has realized the Supreme Lord. That is the qualification. Such a spiritual master. So now your question is how to find that spiritual master. You have to hear, and also you have to pray to the Lord, because after you get initial mercy from a pure devotee, then depending on your sincerity, the Lord will arrange your spiritual master. So you have to pray to the Lord, and also keep hearing, continue to hear uh, from sadhus, and with the help of the Lord, you will find your spiritual master. Sunil Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji, but what to do in the meantime? Like you said, no, when there's a haunting, so many years have passed, we have stuck there only in that situation, I'm saying.
Yes. So the solution when you commit these 10 offenses, first and seventh offenses are very severe. So in that case, one has to take some punishment. We discussed this in the last session also. So
Mataji.
you have to take some punishment. Then what punishment, that we don't know, when it comes, when the Lord sends. The point is that when the offenses are very severe, to reduce the intensity of that offense, we have to undergo some suffering. And it's not something that you're imposing yourself, imposing it on yourself. It's not like that. But suffering is essential. So devotees actually pray to the Lord. Devotees pray to the Lord to give suffering, you know, or they say that you give me, you know, I have committed sins, I have committed offenses, you send me to hell. I'm I I don't want you to, relieve me. I'm not praying to you to free me from the reactions to my sins or my offenses. Let me suffer, but please don't abandon me. Please give me the association of your devotees. Please keep me in your bhakti. Give me the shelter of your lotus feet. This is the prayer of devotees to the Lord. They are not trying to get away from the consequences. They take full responsibility for whatever they have done, whether it is offense or it is sins. They take full responsibility. So, what happens when we undergo suffering is the heart softens, so that the offense is not removed. Offense is removed only by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But right now, because of my offenses, I'm not even able to chant. I'm not even able to perform bhajan. Then what should I do in that situation? So, as I said, if we sincerely, you're saying I don't have faith, but see, when I have a serious problem, I don't have any other shelter except going to the doctor. I have a serious health crisis. I am at the mercy of the doctor. So now I have a serious problem in bhakti. My anarthas are not allowing me to perform bhajan, to chant. I have to take shelter. There's no other way. You have to fall at the feet of Srila Prabhupada and Vaishnavas and the Lord and pray. That's the way. And by the Lord's mercy, then even if we get some suffering, then accept that, because that is going to actually soften my heart. And then when the intensity of offense is reduced, then I'll be able to chant, and by chanting, then the offense will be removed, like that.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And another question, sorry, this is not connected. Like Mataji, I'm just thinking if Lord Shiva would have just, get up and offered respect to Daksha, Daksha would not have criticized the Lord Shiva and that whole pastor would have not happened, I think. Is it
But
correct?
Lord Shiva was not disrespectful to Daksha. He was not,
Yeah, he could have
it's
just
not,
stand up.
no, but he was completely absorbed in meditating on the Supreme Lord. He was so absorbed in meditating on Krishna that he didn't even take note of Daksha. Not that why should I stand for Daksha, so he was sitting down. No, it was not like that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhaji. Thank you for explaining the importance of taking Guru. Devotees, any other questions or realizations?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the very wonderful session, Mataji. And I know your health is not good, but still you accepted our request. So grateful to you. Hope you feel better, recover soon, Mataji.
Thank you. Keep it a Sundari
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for a very wonderful session.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Hare
Sanita
Krishna. Thank
Mataji,
you,
you can
Mataji.
take over. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, as Mataji said, since your health is little low, but the enthusiasm was not low, Mataji. That was really so nice, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Enthusiasm was not low.
Very nice class, Mataji. Very good. So nicely explained each and every point about Advaita Acharya, and really felt the importance of how we have to worship Lord Shiva. Mm. And yeah, so in that case, Mataji, I just have a question. Can we keep Lord Shiva in our altar to worship, or we have to keep separately?
First of all, what is in what mood you want to worship Lord Shiva, and uh, why you are wanting to worship Lord Shiva? That would be my question.
Yeah, actually, my thing is like to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, we have to take shelter of the Vaishnavas, right? So the topmost Vaishnava is Lord Shiva. So in that mood, Mataji, I would like to ask this question to worship Lord Shiva and
A main point that Mahaprabhu was making there was, see, what did he say? Those sinful people who criticize Vaishnavas, how can they get bhakti for me without worshipping Lord Shiva? So Mahaprabhu is talking about sinful people who are blasphemers of Vaishnavas. That means here Lord Shiva is also a Vaishnava. That means they are blaspheming Lord Shiva. So on one hand, you are blaspheming a Vaishnava, and on the other hand, you want to get bhakti for Krishna. He's not going to give it if you are envious of Lord Shiva. That is the point. So you don't see them separately, rather, you see Lord Shiva as a devotee of the Supreme Lord. Of course, wherever there is a dham, you will always find the temples of Lord Shiva deities of Lord Shiva. For example, in Mayapur, in Vrindavan, you will see Lord Shiva, he is the protector of Dham, Kshetrapal Shiva, like that. He's protector of Dham. So therefore you find Lord Shiva's, Shivlingas and, in the temples of Krishna. So with that idea, there is, yes. So at home, if you already have, then you worship from, if in family, if it's already there, then you worship Lord Shiva in that mood as a Vaishnava. And the way it is explained, first of all, you have to offer worship to Krishna, and then to Lord Shiva, and then to the other demigods. But it is not mandatory that we should all have, Shivlinga on the altar. Srila Prabhupada didn't give us that. So if you don't have, it's not that
Got
you
it.
have to get and you have to worship. It's not like that. But you understand Lord Shiva's position. He's a Vaishnava
Yeah.
and he's very dear to the Lord, like that.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. I was just having this doubt whether we can keep on.
Yeah.
As not only we worship him, but still I was having a doubt whether we can keep or not. Thank you, Mataji, for explaining that. Yes, so I see in chat box everyone is praising the class, saying that super duper enthusiasm, Mataji. And yeah. So all are praying for your good health, so that next time you will again give us a bomb blasting class with again very powerful enthusiastic. So thank you so much, Mataji. I don't find any hand raise or questions in the chat box. So with your permission, we can end this session here.
Yes. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Vancha kalpadari pashya kripa sindhu jaya vachapati tanam pavane jaya vaishnavi antakoti vaishnavi ki jaya. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Hare
Jai.
Sachana Bhakti Mataji ki jai.
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 Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna, Mataji.
Dear devotees,
Thank you so much,
we'll end the
Mataji.
session here.
Thank you, dear devotees. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.